Good evening. Welcome to Around the World with Dee and Friends. Tonight, Hashmed had stated he will be joining me tonight. We're going to be discussing the Gaza Board of Peace, the latest info that was brought out, the Strait of Hormuz, Iran, West Asia, some news about Trump, and we'll probably just go around talking about a lot of things. But anyway, right now I'd appreciate it if you could hit the like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on X. I recently started a new YouTube channel because the other one was taken down. So it's like starting all over again with YouTube. And here I am on Facebook sharing the show on Facebook, letting everybody know that we're live. Let's see. That's Colby barking. He likes to voice his opinion now and then. Okay. I should be getting the show started soon. Once more people come in here, I'm sharing the show around, letting everybody know that I am live. Let me see. Okay. Just trying to let people know we're live right now. Oh, good. Evelina's here. Hello. Are you live? Yes. Yes, I am live. Harsh had said he told me that this evening he was going to be joining. So, waiting for Harsh to join us. And also, just sharing the show around. And now here we've got they shouldn't be too long singing. They just like to get a song out now and then. They're kind of introducing themselves. They're saying, we're here. We're here with everybody. Okay, I'm sharing this show out as quickly as I can, and then I would get into the topics. But like I said, I appreciate it if you could, subscribe to my new YouTube channel. Follow me on X. I'm also on Upscrolled. But right now I'm sharing the show out, and that just takes a little time. Okay. Now let me see. Sharing and sharing. The old saying, what? Sharing is caring, but that is true. Okay. There's just so much in the news, and they're trying to divvy down, deciding what are we going to talk about. It's just so much. And there's so much fury. Everybody, so much anger, which I understand completely. The issue of not respecting sovereignty. That's infuriating, to say the least. Because I see what the U.S. does around the world, just bombing and acting like it's in charge of the world. The U.S. wouldn't want other countries acting the way the U.S. is acting to the other countries. I mean, we wouldn't want that. Yet, it just doesn't click. People in the U.S. You have a lot of people that whatever the U.S. media says, that's what they go along with. They have absolutely no critical thinking skills. They do not research history at all. Hi, Harsh.
Well,
Welcome.
hello. Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. No, first of all, how you doing? How's everything?
Oh, everything's okay. I'm just sharing the show out.
That's good. Yeah, no, I missed last. I'm sorry about missing last night. I was kind of out and about.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, yeah, I don't really know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really know what else I'm gonna say. Cause I mean, the only thing I'm gonna say, it's ridiculous how stupid everyone's become.
Mm-hmm.
Like if like any time a Zionist is like, but Hamas is it, but they had a chance to get the agreement settled numerous times, but Hamas rejected the PLO rejected it, as if like the Israeli government's capable of honoring any agreement at all.
No, no, they haven't, and people don't see that. And
Can we send all these people to like a labor camp of some sort? Seriously, if they're that fucking retarded, do they need to be productive members? Do we have to like even have them integrate in our society?
that's the problem with the education system. Critical thinking
Yeah,
skills.
I know, but the problem is some of these people think the education system's a joke, and they realize it's a joke, and they still fall for the nonsense. It's like, can we just? At this point, I don't even care.
It's like the fans of, well, mainly it's a lot of people that follow Fox News um, and Trump's Truth Social and just a lot of right wing news sites.
Yeah.
And they don't say, well, okay, I'm looking at this. Let me take a look to see what another viewpoint is. No matter what country it is, let's look at the other viewpoint. Let's see. And let's maybe do some research now that we have, a lot of technology where we could actually do a lot of researching and look into things. It wasn't like when I was a kid, you had to go to the library. We didn't have as much as we have today, and people don't utilize it. It's like whatever Washington says, whatever the person that I like says.
But the crazy part is, I've seen people who hate Trump that are to use Denard's words, our guy Denard, that love being pink washers,
Mhm.
that love pink washing this because they're like, oh, I'm a leftist, I hate Trump, but Israel is better than Muslims and all that. It's like, what?
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
And they have the ability to do some research, and they don't research at all.
right. I mean, the problem is these morons don't seem to understand that saying that virtue signaling to your death is not going to work.
No.
Like that's what I don't get. It's like these idiots don't realize that like virtue signaling to your death, like saying things like, "Oh my God, Hamas is bad, Muslims are bad. We need to protect Israel because we care about the West." It's like, okay, if you want to kill yourself,
Yeah.
get some help. But if you're suicidal, just say that and you'll get help.
And it gets me too between saying with Hamas and the same thing with Hezbollah. It's like, well, why doesn't Israel disarm itself? Why don't they disarm?
I mean, it's the funny part. All those organizations were created by Israel in the first place.
Yeah.
No, but for some reason, people just keep ignoring that crap.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so ridiculous. I can't even send you any more news. I'm just sending you some of the things that some of the what you call it, some of the alt accounts Not even
Okay.
alts. Some like the random happenings from the random idiots. Because yeah, Facebook deleted most of my accounts, so I don't even have like that anymore.
I know because I try to tag you when I do the shows, and I can't.
Yeah, it's pretty bad now.
Uh huh.
It's
I'm
really bad.
yeah. I'm gonna. This is a short article from Common Dreams. We should go to court, taking Trump to court.
Taking Trump to court.
Like it's gonna. And you kind of question: do they really mean it, or is this just for the primaries coming up?
How many times are you gonna take Trump to court? He doesn't care.
He doesn't.
Like seriously, he doesn't care, and half of that, you know. But I also think Democrats are screwed too, because Democrats are just going to be like, are just going to pretend to be retarded.
They're going to be going along with whoever's sending them the money, whoever's giving the campaign.
Right.
Okay, here's Common Dreams. We should go to court. Kana says, this Rokahana says, latest U.S. bombings of Iran as blatant violation by Trump. Trump must stop this war now, or we will take him
Good
to court.
Lord, Trump must stop this war now. As if like they weren't supporting Israel for their entire fucking careers.
Uh-huh. And, you know, it's Marco Rubio that's really behind all of this, because I know Trump had many times, you know, he just wanted it over with. I want it over with. Just wants it over with. And little Marco.
Little Marco. Little Marco.
Little Marco goes and talks to Netanyahu. Little Marco went and talked with his Gulf allies. Well, last week he was talking with them. And it just seems before there's attacks, what does he do? He goes over there. Little Marco makes a visit.
Little Marco.
And little Marco wants to blow up Latin America too. And so little Marco, all the campaign cash, all the money he gets. Well, he's gotten a lot of money from the lobbyists, different Israeli lobbyists. So, and I guess that's why with Latin America, they want the Isaac Accords.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to love Israel. And little Marco's helping.
Everyone's got to love Israel. Like, I mean, I hate saying it, but the more and more we keep, the more and more we keep finding things out about Israel, the more and more a lot of conspiracy theories seem to be coming to light.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm starting to wonder now, maybe all these like white nationalists and white supremacists that hate the tiny hat people, what if they were on something and we just didn't know it? I don't know. That's such a horrible thing to say because they're fucking psychos, but it's like.
But listen to this. You have these Christian nationalists that go to the evangelical churches, and they're all, loving Israel. The Messianic movement. Oh, yeah. Let the whole West Bank. Oh, that's Judea and Samaria. And all the Middle East belongs to Israel. All of it. And they don't even care about the Christians that are over there. They're actually DNA Christians, you know?
Right. I mean, if there's anything the last few years have proven in 4K, I mean, granted, this has probably been happening well before then, it's that Israelis hate everybody. They don't just hate Muslims. They hate everybody.
Well, because it's instilled in society that everybody is after them.
You know what? Maybe when you hate everyone else, that's kind of what you put out in the air. That's kind of your own karmic energy coming back to you.
But that's what, children are taught. They're taught from a young age. This is the only safe place for you. And, they're just told, a bunch of propaganda and a bunch of things. They don't, they teach it to the children.
I mean, if it's propaganda, it's probably propaganda from the holy books. It's not propaganda from just their education. So, we need to have a real conversation about this.
Mhm.
Like, so when we talk about Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, and Epstein Island, there needs to be a fact that is acknowledged by everybody that
Mhm.
talks about this issue. Netanyahu and Netanyahu and Israel. There are two facts that need to be acknowledged. Here's the first fact. Benjamin Netanyahu represents the mentality of the average Israeli. That is a fact. He's just far more eloquent and far more intelligent than the average Israeli. But don't get it twisted. He represents the mentality of the average Israeli.
Yes, because he knows,
Right.
it's what they put forth in the media and what they want people to think. Just like over here, stuff is brought out
Right.
in the media for people to think a certain way.
Yeah, the difference is, though, I could say that the American public is so apathetic that you have bad politicians and you have leaders
Mhm.
like Trump or whatever. Like, I could say that's based off of apathy. With Israel, that's based off of like their beliefs.
Mhm.
And speaking of that, here's another fact that has to be acknowledged, that if it's not acknowledged, then there's no point in having these conversations. Jeffrey Epstein represents the mentality of the average Jewish person. He
Mhm.
does. The way he talks about the Goyim and the Gentiles, the non-believers or the ones that
Yes.
don't subscribe to Judaism, he is Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein does represent the average Jewish mentality. The only difference is that Jeffrey Epstein is far more depraved than the average Jewish person and far more wealthier. But don't get it twisted. Jeffrey Epstein represents the mentality of the average Jewish person. They think they're better than everybody else, and they think everybody else deserves to die. That's why I don't even. That's why when people yell about anti-Semitism or whatever, it's like that's the energy they put out for everyone else. You treat everyone else like crap, and then you expect nothing to happen to you. That's insane. That's wild.
Right, and it's things that are taught in society, and they're always saying about other places, they need to re-educate their public. They talk about with the Muslim countries, Arab countries, and what they teach. Well, Israel's not any better. Israel's worse because they're teaching their children that they're better than everybody else. They teach them, supremacy.
Right.
And you have to always be vigilant, always stand guard. The world's after them.
Right. But I mean, that's kind of what Judaism teaches them too.
Right.
I mean, we see I've read enough of the Talmud to know what they think of the Goyim and the Gentiles.
And, this was something that was a long time ago. And it was something that was written down, especially if you talk about the Talmud, that was written down in different times of history by different rabbis. There were circumstances around what was going on at the time, different wars that were going on. But it's not something that right now, this time and age, and if you're going to say God's chosen, it's going to be the chosen to do good in the world.
Right.
To be a blessing in the world.
Well, these people, they're not. I mean, if you want to bring the God aspect up, even in Revelations, Jesus Christ looks at them. Get away from me, you brood of vipers. You are the synagogue of Satan.
Right.
So
they're not following. They're not the ones that are not following what they should do, and they know what they know right from wrong. But it's this persistence doing wrong, like a lot of these Zionists are doing. They know right from wrong.
They don't believe what they're doing is wrong.
Right.
They think it's their God-given right to kill 6 billion people for fun. Not even for fun, just because they have the right to do so. They believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they complain that everyone is like, oy vey, my anti-Semitism's, oy vey, this is Jewish hatred, oy vey. You know, the year is not, you're an anti-Semite for saying Israel doesn't deserve to exist, oy vey. It's like, wait a second. You want to kill everybody else, but then when people are upset about that, now you want to cry anti-Semitism.
Right.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
I mean, before I used to hear these things, before I used to hear certain statements like, "Oh, what happens in Palestine could happen to you," and I just went, "Okay, that's a bit hyperbolic." But
Mhm.
now it's like, it's the truth because how much they hate everybody,
Yeah, they're taught to hate, and you look at
religiously, educationally. It's the same thing. They're taught to hate.
yes, and then we have it here in the U.S.
Right,
We've had it with many groups teaching
right.
to
But the
hate other
difference
people.
is those groups are dealt with and called out.
Hmm.
Like like for instance, I'm Indian. I grew up Hindu. I'm Hindu. I'm Indian. I grew up dealing with racism in the 80s or 90s, but never once. But if I called out white supremacy or racism, never once did I hear, "Oh man, you hate white people if you can't if you call out a white supremacist." I've never heard that ever.
Right,
I've never heard Christians saying, "Oh man, you called out some white nationalists and evangelicals. You hate Christianity." I've never heard that. No
right,
one's ever said that. Hell, I used to call out Muslims for their craziness, but
right,
I would never hear, "You're an Islamophobe for saying that about Muslims. Certain Muslims doing bad things." No, that it was all separate.
right.
But when it comes to the oy vey, you're criticizing Israel, you're an anti-Semite. It's like, what?
It doesn't make any sense because right now we're all in the United States of America.
It doesn't make any sense if you presume that the majority of those people want peace, love, and harmony and all that.
Right.
It makes sense if they're telling you that they're genocidal maniacs,
Hmm.
which is actually kind of alarming. It's like, wait a second. You don't want anti-Semitism to be on the rise. You don't want Jewish hatred to be on the rise. But you're telling me the same group of people are happy with killing everybody else. How
It's,
does that make sense?
it doesn't make sense, and it's almost as if, and it is wanting to control
I mean,
control what is said in the U.S., what's said in the media, what's said in the U.S.
but this is more than that.
Right.
I mean, are these people actually, if they want to talk about religion, are these people the actual Antichrist? Do they just want to sacrifice like 3/4 of their population just to say, "Oh, Satan, please come back"? I mean, is that what they're doing? I mean, are they just trying to like have a bunch of? Are they just trying to sacrifice their own people just so they can have like 2 centuries worth of, you know, Holocaust remembrance? Just to have like 2 centuries worth of like sympathy seeking, like they had with the Holocaust for the last 80 years? Like, I don't get it. This doesn't make sense.
It doesn't because, like you talked about history in India, and people don't talk about that.
They don't at all. Don't even mention it.
No.
You know, millions of people died in East India, starved by Churchill. Nobody cares. During the famines. You know, freaking King Leopold of Belgium killed 10 million people in Congo. Nobody cared. Nobody cares. Nobody even brings it up.
Right.
I mean, the Bolsheviks killed 60 million people, most of them to be Christians, in a 30-year span. Nobody cares.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody brings it up. But yet, you know, I mean, there's laws saying you can't even say the religion of the majority of the Bolsheviks in Russia. But yet somehow, if a bunch of, but yet somehow, when there comes to certain events that happen in World War II, you're not even allowed to question them. Otherwise, you get every label thrown at you. So,
Right, and this is what gets me is because all around the world, the horror that has been going on, and the millions of people that have died, and it's just no one thinks about that, and it's just a certain group that's being put in place that this is how you have to think for these people. These people are the ones that are the poor me people. They're the victims. Nobody
Hey,
else
hey,
is,
we are the victims.
and nobody else is. And look at U.S. history.
Oh, you
The
want
native
to?
population.
Yeah.
Black America. I mean, it's a horrid, horrid history.
You know what's insane? I remember one time watching a clip of a podcast
Mm-hmm.
with I think it was like Nick Fuentes, Gavin McInnes, some other guy, and then this like one Jewish person they brought on the show.
Right.
They ask him a question saying, "Who would he rather side with?" This Jewish guy, right?
Right.
Would you choose the Christians or the Muslims? And he says, "Yeah, I'd rather choose the Muslims." And Gavin McInnes, this like white nationalist type, like conservative Trump supporter,
Right.
he starts melting down. He starts crashing out. He's like, "Are you serious? I can't believe you had said that. I thought we had an alliance. Oh my god!" And like everybody starts laughing, and Nick Fuentes starts saying, "What are you talking about? This was promised to me 3,000 years ago." And the Jewish guy keeps explaining like why he would side with the Muslims over the Christians, and then yeah, it was just funny to see him crash out. And it just goes to show you how brainless they are. These Christian Zionists. I was like, you guys got it wrong on the religious front. They
Yes.
don't like you. They think you're an idol worshiper. They think Jesus Christ is in hell boiling in crap.
Well,
Little crap.
that's it's not everybody, but
The majority of them do. So for them to sit there and not like obviously not all, because but the majority of them, especially the ones who are Zionists, they believe that. So why are you even? How do you even have an alliance with people who think that about you? It's kind of interesting, but I don't know. Maybe people just want to die. Is that where we're at? People just want to die.
Well, the Christian Zionists, they have it in their head, that they're going to go into Israel, they're somehow going to convert everybody, and they're just going to go all over the place. And then if you look at it from the perspective of the leadership in Israel, they don't believe in the stuff that the Christians believe, but the Christians are handy, aren't they? They're helping them.
They look at the Christians. The Zionists in Israel look at the Christians the same way they look at the Muslims. They're there to do their dirty work and then to get slaughtered. That's how they look at them. They don't care about anything else.
No.
But I mean, if you're a Christian Zionist, I'm just going to assume you're suicidal. I really am. Because how do you side with people who think your Messiah, your Lord and Savior, is in hell bathing in crap?
That's something that, like, you see it in the Talmud, but these were things when people were sitting around talking. And,
but they still believe it, though.
No, not everybody does.
I'm not saying everybody, but the majority of them do.
You could say maybe the Kahanists and the extremists.
I think the majority of them believe that. When you have people like Ben Shapiro saying that on his on a Joe Rogan podcast,
he's an Orthodox.
He's not the only one. When you have rabbis, people who are supposed to be men of God, talking about how 6 billion people deserve to die, this isn't some freaking anomaly,
right? Because you have Zionists and that are Orthodox and ultra Orthodox.
Yeah, but I'm not okay. Obviously, not everybody. There's good people everywhere and all that.
You have conservative and reform that live in the world today, and they don't live by a lot of that stuff that was,
I mean, that's nice for them to say that, but I mean, the thing is, the ones who believe that don't really have the power to change it. And
Right,
the
then you
ones that
have
lie who
Messianic.
about believing that will have no problem changing their colors to freaking start doing that. I mean,
But
there's
see,
a reason why, like, what was considered extremism in Israel 30 years ago is the norm today. Like, guys like Ben Gvir and Netanyahu were considered extremists
yeah,
3 decades
now
ago.
we're
But
seeing, yeah,
now they can do whatever the hell they want.
right. And
So
yeah,
to
they
sit
wouldn't
there,
allow that thinking in
right?
Israel years back
Yeah.
with Mir
So to
Kahane and all that.
sit there and say that's not the majority of them, that's not all of them. I don't know if I can say that anymore.
Mm.
I can say it's not all of them, but to say it's not the majority of them, no, that's
And then,
hard for that's a
you have,
hard way.
and you see another clash. You have Messianics. You have the Messianic Jewish movement. So you have Jews that believe in Jesus. So you can just imagine how that clash is, the Messianic Jews.
Oh, that must be a mess. That must be a mess.
Clash or accident, car crash. Okay, let me read this article. Common Dreams. We should go to court. Kahana says latest U.S. bombing of Iran.
Kahana,
Kahana, yeah.
Rokana, not Kahana.
Kahana.
You know, he's Indian. He's not Jewish. He's Indian.
Oh, okay. We should go to court. We should go to court.
Yeah.
Kahana says latest U.S. bombings of Iran, a blatant violation by Trump. But as we were saying, that it's just, this whole election year. Okay, what's going on here? My screen's gotten a little messed up here. Here we go. All righty. Trump must stop the war now, or we will take him to court to compel him to do so. Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna on Sunday reiterated his position that new bombings of Iran by the U.S. military over the weekend are a direct violation of a war powers resolution passed by Congress earlier this month, and said legal action was in the works to challenge the president's ability to carry on with the unprovoked war he first launched alongside Israel in February. These strikes are a blatant violation of the war powers resolution that we passed, Khanna said in a social media post Saturday after Trump acknowledged strikes on numerous Iranian targets. Trump must stop this war now, or we will take him to court to compel him to do so. In a Saturday statement on his Truth Social platform, Trump said the U.S. had struck Iranian missile and drone storage locations and coastal radar sites for violating the ceasefire agreement again. It is very possible that they will never learn, the president exclaimed. There may come a point when we are no longer able to be reasonable and will be forced to militarily complete the job that we very successfully started. If that happens, the Islamic Republic of Iran will no longer exist. The latest direct exchange of hostilities that began with U.S. bombings of Iranian targets Friday included Iran targeting U.S. allies in Bahrain and Kuwait on Sunday. Come over lingering disagreements about how vessels will or will not pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Congress passed the first war powers resolution in history, legally compelling an end to the war on Iran. The anti-war group Just Foreign Policy said Friday strikes, this means Trump's strikes today are an unprecedented constitutional violation. Trump must be taken to court to honor the American people's demand that we exit this war now. Iran Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Sunday that interference in the strait, any attempt to establish new or separate arrangements from those currently being carried out by the Islamic Republic of Iran, will only lead to further complications, delay the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, and increase the level of tension. Araghchi called for a regional agreement to settle the issue of passage through the strait, but indicated the U.S. should have no role in determining the outcome of the settlement. On Saturday, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard said that the U.S., whose very nature is characterized by breaking commitments and violating agreements, was guilty of firing on coastal targets, but that such attacks would not deter the Iranian military from exerting control over the strait. Henceforth, said the IRGC, vessels found to be in violation will be dealt with more firmly than before. On June 23rd, a 50-48 vote in the Senate saw a War Powers resolution pass the upper chamber after the House also passed a similar resolution on June 3rd to bring an end to the war started by the U.S. and Israel on February 28. But, as Khan explained Sunday, speaking with journalist David Sirota, these votes have not been enough to curb the president's actions. No, they haven't. Asked by Sirota what he would do, what he would be doing to compel Trump to adhere to the congressional opposition to Trump's ongoing aggression against Iran, Khan said, "We should go to court," noting that former Republican Congressman Tom Campbell, back in 1999, had taken former President Bill Clinton to court for violating a war powers resolution during the U.S.-backed NATO bombing of Yugoslavia. Khan said he is preparing to follow a similar course. "This is something that we should try to enforce," Khan said, "and I'm working with my colleagues to see how we can get a group together to take this to court." I think they better do this very quickly.
What is he even talking about? Have the president rein in his power, authoritarian, his unilateral power. That should have been done like 6 administrations ago.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Ro, you're kind of 30 years behind.
Yes.
That's the type of crap that should have been done during the freaking Clinton administration.
Yes.
What are we talking about now? Now you want to try to rein in the president's powers? Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. See, that's why I can't even do these shows anymore, because this is so ridiculous. How do I listen to that article and be like, oh, well, there must be some legitimacy to this? What?
Yeah. It's crazy.
The president has been granted unilateral power to do whatever the hell he wants when it comes to military operations for decades, and now this idiot is saying something?
Yeah, now the idiot's saying something.
Remind me again how long Ro Khanna's been in power. He's been in Congress for a decade?
Yeah,
minimum?
I would say.
Now he's saying all that?
It's like this should have been done early on. But everybody's talking, and they're whispering, and they're saying things on talk shows. So it's like, you were just playing politics, and you weren't doing anything to stop what's going on. I mean, they're all to blame. They should have tried to do something sooner. But then they always say, well, the Republican control, but still, I don't know. It's just.
I mean, this is so dumb. This is so stupid. This guy has been in office since 2017.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's been in office for 10 years. And now he wants to say, oh, well, we need to bring everybody in. We need to rein the president's powers. Really?
So it could be on record.
This guy's been a member of Congress since at least 2017.
Yes.
And he was a Deputy Assistant Secretary of the U.S. Department of Commerce under Barack Obama from 2009 to 2012. 11. That means this guy has had damn near 15, damn near 15 to 17 years to do what he needed to do in regards to this. And nothing. And he hasn't done anything about it. As the Italians say, ugats. He's done ugats.
Right, and during the Gaza genocide, when Biden was in office, nothing, silence.
I mean, these people are that stupid. I don't even know what to say anymore.
Mm.
I think these people are just trolling.
Yeah, because they want just to have it on the record or something.
See, we tried, but we didn't do anything when it mattered.
Yeah.
Such a waste of time. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
You're better off just sharing some of the screenshots I sent you in regards to the retards, the Zionist idiots I dealt with, myself and our friends, and our mutual friends.
Okay, then I'll get to the other articles after.
I mean, no, get to the other article first, but then we can share that at the end for entertainment.
Okay. Okay, these others aren't long, so I didn't want to have long articles.
Right.
Oh,
well,
here.
Whatever it is,
This got to me. I'm just so sick of so much bullshit. Trump just thinks the world is his. He owns the world. He has leaked, and this is from Tel Azor, leaked draft resolution gives Gaza Board of Peace broad immunity. Isn't that sick? Leaked draft resolution gives Gaza Board of Peace broad immunity. Even calling themselves a Board of Peace. I mean, it is just...
The whole thing is sick, but again, when you understand that Benjamin Netanyahu represents the mentality of the average Israeli, a lot of it starts to make sense in a very hedonistic way. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here's Trump. And it says here, Trump signed the founding charter of the Board of Peace on January 22nd in Davos, Switzerland. It's sick. It's not a Board of Peace. It's just a corporate slush fund.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, when you understand that, Netanyahu represents the mentality of the average Israeli,
mm-hmm.
then you understand the Machiavellian mindset that these people truly have.
Mm-hmm. Right, because they're in the environment.
Part of it's the environment, part of it's their culture, part of it's their upbringing.
Yes, it's all intertwined.
It is.
That's their worldview.
I mean, it's the same thing when I say Jeffrey Epstein represents the average Jewish person. I mean, I hate saying it, but he does. So that's why and you can't really uncouple it, because the same people that put Netanyahu into power, the same people that gave Jeffrey Epstein what he wanted. And the same people, and again, they're also the same people killing all the Gazans. So.
Yeah, and they've all made statements, horrible statements. Okay.
And they all live up to those horrible statements. So.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's hard to uncouple any of this anymore. I never used to sound like this. I never sound like this when I have my account. Now that I don't have my account, I'm like, all right.
But it's just their own words. You have these people coming out and saying these things. It's not just saying, well, this is what this one thinks. We heard it from so and so and so. No, this is directly. We've heard directly from people in the Knesset and people in Israel. They come out and actually say things that are pretty much shocking to everybody else. So, like you said, it's so many people saying it, and they are saying it. It's not somebody saying they heard it from somebody else, directly being said by people.
Yeah, because that's a part of their mentality. They're just saying the quiet part out loud.
Yes.
They're no longer hiding.
Mm-hmm. Okay. A Gaza Board of Peace, promoted by the Trump administration, plans to grant itself sweeping absolute legal immunity, and the authority to confiscate Palestinian public properties at no cost, according to a draft resolution revealed on June 27th by the British newspaper The Guardian. The draft extends protection from arrest, detention, or local legal proceedings not only to board members and their administrative affiliate. The Office of the High Representative, led by Bulgarian diplomat Nikolay Mladenov, but also to Palestinian technocrats appointed for management, troops of the International Stabilization Force, and non-resident contractors. The executive committee includes, of course, Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, White House Chief of Staff Susan Wiles, and National Security Advisor Little Marco Rubio, with both Witkoff and Kushner holding New York real estate investments that could allow them to benefit financially from reconstruction alongside Israeli businessmen. International law specialists have warned that the body's activities are illegal, arguing they consolidate Zionist occupation following the genocide against the Palestinian population. 6 lawyers specializing in U.S. contract law and armed conflicts also expressed concern over the draft, noting that it omits accountability mechanisms for soldiers or contractors in cases of shootings, accidents, or routine land use disputes. Nora Ericott, a professor of the international law at Rutgers University, stated that the board seeks to nullify all external oversight, including international occupation law, in order to establish its own legal system isolated from existing treaties. Despite several nations pledging billions of dollars to join the project, most funds have not been transferred. Reconstruction contracts remain suspended, and the International Stabilization Force has yet to deploy on the ground. It's like an Epstein class plan. The Gaza Board of Peace Board is just, a group of those that consider themselves elitist and don't value human life. And what's done over in Gaza, they would do it anywhere in the world.
Yes, they would. And they're already trying to create their own. They're already trying to create others. I think you were telling me this on a show a year ago. They're already trying to create like an Israeli settler community in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they're trying to, and I think you told me this more recently on the show. They're trying to use Patagonia as another Israeli settler community.
Mm-hmm.
So these people really don't, and they already have one. They already have the Jewish Autonomous Oblast, which is in eastern Russia, which is bordered by Russia, North Korea, and China. And they're still don't have enough. It's like, I don't get these people.
It's this thing of controlling the world.
It really is, but if you mention that, then you'll have, idiots calling you a Jew hater and an anti-Semite. It's like, okay.
No, it goes back, and it even goes back to, if you take it to God, people that believe in God and, the monotheistic religions. And, it goes back to that whole golden calf thinking, always going for the gold, going elsewhere and not following God. And over in history, this is the direction, this is how God wants you to be and to act and to, and it's going the other way. But these people, a lot of these people too, are different anyway, because you have people that converted, in the 7th century?
I believe so.
Yeah, so they're not the DNA of the people going back to the early days. So these are people in Eastern Europe that, well, some were living in Turkey, whatever, and converted to Judaism, which is fine to convert, but you can't go back to a time in history going way back. You weren't even a part of all that, and all of that. Basically, we talk about that region was Canaan, the Levant, being Canaan, and the DNA goes back to Palestinians and Lebanese. You have, just people from the region. The DNA goes back. They've done the studies. So you've got the original people living in the region, and you're slaughtering the original people, the original DNA.
Yep. Oh, yes.
And that's what it goes back to. It gets me with these people with the white Jesus, with the blonde hair and blue-eyed.
These people are just dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll send you like profiles of these dumb people to your what is it? To the I'll send you because I send you screenshots of these people being complete morons.
Okay. Well, first, let me just go through Press TV, and that's it.
Yeah, no, you're better off doing Press TV because I still have stuff to send you on that.
Okay, so here we go. Only Iran in charge of reopening Hormuz Strait, says the Foreign Minister Aragashi. Foreign Minister Abbas Aragashi says only Iran is in charge of reopening the Strait of Hormuz under the Tehran-Washington Memorandum of Understanding, warning that any foreign interference will complicate the process. Aragashi made the remarks on Sunday during a press conference with his Iraqi counterpart, Fouad Hussein, in Baghdad amid renewed tensions in the Strait of Hormuz, which has remained under the Iranian control after the illegal U.S.-Israeli war of aggression against the Islamic Republic. According to the Memorandum of Understanding, the strait will return to its pre-war capacity within 30 days under the management that Iran will adopt and after the removal of obstacles by the Islamic Republic, he said. These arrangements are being implemented, and the responsibility for them lies with the Islamic Republic. Any interference in this matter and any attempt to adopt new or separate arrangements compared to what is underway by Iran will only lead to more complicated situations and delays in the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz and will fuel tensions. Referring to fresh tensions in the Strait of Hormuz, the top Iranian diplomat called on all parties not to meddle in the arrangements that are being adopted by Iran for reopening of the strategic waterways and ensure that the Memorandum of Understanding does not deviate from its intended course. Iran has restricted transit through the Strait of Hormuz, responsible for a fifth of global oil demand, since the early days of the unprovoked U.S.-Israeli aggression on the country that began on February 28th and came to a halt under a ceasefire on April 8th. On July 7th, Iran and the U.S. signed the Pakistan-brokered Memorandum of Understanding, which calls for a permanent end to the hostilities across all fronts, including Lebanon, as well as the removal of the naval blockade on Iran within 30 days, and the restoration of commercial traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. Additionally, in his remarks, Aragashi voiced regret that Israel continues its attacks on Lebanon, saying under the Memorandum of Understanding, the U.S. should stop the Zionist regime's strikes. He further expressed his gratitude to the Iraqi government and nation for their solidarity with Iranians as victims of the illegal U.S.-Israeli war of aggression. And now
So this gonna be another agreement Israel violates, correct?
yes.
Okay.
So they violated, and And the world's going to be at a halt again. Because, Israel always says, oh, we were not part of the agreement, you know. But you're striking in Lebanon.
And the majority of those guys are Christian, so.
Yeah.
But it's anti-Semitic if you say that.
It's just crazy. Okay, let me get over to your earlier, I guess when we first started the show. Well, earlier in the show, Something White says, "Oh my God, responsibility is hard. So please tell me what to do." That was when we were, I think, after Ro Kahana's article. And I got some other comments here. Evelina was laughing at something. Oh, it was 10:28. So that was just, just right before. What do we do? People are protesting. They're trying to educate the rest of the public.
Yeah, I'm kind of at the point. Maybe people should just. I mean, if the Christian Zionists still want to justify being Christian Zionists, then we just don't. I mean, I just don't think they're worth. I just don't think they want to live anymore. I really believe that. I just think they're suicidal. Because I mean, why would you say you're a man of God, but then want to start doing things that go against God? Under the guise of being godlike.
I don't know. Okay, you got a lot of...
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
Okay, let me just try to get to the very beginning of it all.
It's really dumb. Like, it's actually kind of stupid, the whole thing.
Okay, here I am. Let me see. I like to remember this, how I do all this. I think I have it. Let me see. Share screen. Facebook, yep, here it is. Okay, harsh. I mean, if Israel was willing to respect the 1967 borders, then they could perhaps coexist with the Palestinians and the rest of the region. Since that was never a possibility, then it's now possible for Israel to coexist. And then this guy, Levi James Conan, said to Harsh, they never intended to coexist.
He's right. He's absolutely right about that.
Yeah, and he shows the patch.
Yeah, it's like, I thought there was a conspiracy theory, the Greater Israel Project. Now it's like this.
Yeah, they wear it on their uniforms. Yeah, better here, yeah. Greater Israel map display Israeli soldiers' uniform patch raises alarm. 6-2 State Solution Office says otherwise, but keep pretending Palestinians aren't genocidal.
Yeah, he's such a. Yeah, the funniest thing is I typed in his information, and all of a sudden it linked to. All of a sudden it had like everything connected to him living in Minnesota. So what's that in nuts? It's like, dude, you might want to be careful with that.
But wearing it on their uniform, the Greater Israel.
Right.
That says it all. And then here it is. See, a time to load up. The time to get. It says here, time for you to become.
Oh yeah, hi guy. He got tired of them. He found out where he lived.
Okay. Palestine was happy with the 1967 borders. They wouldn't have launched the two intifadas. It is the Palestinians who are genocidal and refuse to coexist with Jews. And then you say here, yeah, right. Except you seem a few you left out a few details. Anyway, have a great night. Then this person says, if they were as evil as you claim them to be, then they're the heroes of the world. Time for you to.
Yeah, he started getting very. Then the heroes of the world. Time for you snakes to burn. That's what he said.
Okay. And you guys love to say we're anti-Zionist, not anti-Semitic. Okay, the high guy says something here.
Yeah, hi guy. He's just like, he's like a white supremacist.
Okay.
Like he's an actual white supremacist.
Okay.
Like he even said Brad Cherry's like a disgrace to his own people. Like wow.
Okay, then let me go over here. High guy says, did you just compare me to a cow worshipping shitskin? Oh my goodness. That's it to the boxcar. It's time for you to go back to camp. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's just tired of them. Like he's I don't know why
oh my goodness.
About me, but
now, let me just go down here where this other person says they would need to confirm their borders and drop their river to the sea claim first. And then it says they confirmed the borders in 1967, but yet Israel decided to ignore them altogether. Also, unironically, Canada, USA, Australia, and New Zealand.
Yep.
I mean, if Israel was willing to respect the 67 borders, then they could perhaps coexist.
Correct. I mean, that's not even a difficult...
Yeah, when I talk about river to the sea, Israel uses the terminologies. It's the same areas they talk about, but it's okay for them to say it. But it's not okay for anybody else to say it.
I mean, they don't even talk about from the river to the sea. They talk about like from the Euphrates to the Niles.
Right. But yeah.
But what the hell are they talking about?
It's the same area.
It's actually way more.
Yeah, way more, yeah.
These people want to colonize like half the region, and then they have the audacity to say the Palestinians. It's so stupid.
Or they start crying, but they want to throw us in the sea. They said they want to throw us in the sea. But right now, who is being thrown into the sea? Who is being slaughtered? It's not you. You're doing horror to other people. And then here, this person says to Harsh, Israel was attacked by Palestine. The only people that agreed with a two-state solution was claiming it was Israel. Palestine wants to kill Jews, and retards like you support that. No, then you said, okay, boomer. The point was, there's a lot of Israelis there's people that do want two states, but you had the other group that wants it all, and they say it all belongs to them. And Israel, like we said, that if they talk about October 7th, that was Netanyahu's baby, put together by him.
Right. October 7th was a bunch of right-wing Israelis killing a bunch of left-wing Israelis and then blaming Hamas, blaming some Muslims. The whole thing is so stupid.
And their first claims that they tried to say, nothing was proven. They had somebody that was a known propagandist going around saying stuff, just throwing out stuff, and the media of the world was picking up stuff. Nothing investigated. And when you investigate, you can't find anything. Okay, then Harsh says here, too bad the former defense minister of Israel said Israel was responsible for October 7th. And then the guy Brad says, responsible how? Finish the effing context, you J hater. Holy shit.
Yeah, apparently.
He admitted it as well. Yeah.
Right. And then he says, no, he didn't. He never admitted it. It's like, okay.
And there you have it. Yoav Gallant, Israeli ex-minister, admits we killed our own, then blamed Hamas. Brad Cherry says, oh, by the way, according to the Times of Israel, Netanyahu spent decades.
Yeah.
For years, Netanyahu propped up Hamas. Now it's blown up in our face. Yep. And that's what people are saying. They were uncomfortable with his association with the evangelical Christians here in the U.S. That's all going to blow up in his face, too. Oh, this guy is crazy.
Who, Brad Cherry?
The rabbi in there, 'cause I've heard some of his stuff. He's an
The rabbi's insane.
He is insane. Also, if Israel then explained a supposed man of God making these types of statements, I thought rabbis were supposed to be godly people. Hypocrisy overdrive. The Zionist rabbis attempt to teach morals. Oh, he is disgusting. He is disgusting, that guy.
He really is.
Of course, no, he didn't. Laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. Yes, he did, Boomer. They literally talk about the Hannibal Directive. Yes, it's like, where are these people? They don't follow anything, or they just watch their favorite TV channel, and the TV channel tells them what Israel wants them to think. No, we didn't. Laugh out loud. Yes, he did. No, we didn't. Yes, he did. No, we didn't.
Yeah, you really can't have like any sort of intelligent conversations with these idiots.
Epstein lover. Oh, Brad. Somebody says to him, Epstein lover pedophile.
Yeah, some other guy who said all that. I'm like,
crazy. Is the Nazi mad? No, but it looks like the Zionist is mad. The Jewish Star is mad. Leave it to a Nazi to be mad at a star. Yes, Jews like you are mad. We all know you Jews like you Jays like abusing children. It says. And this guy said, murder, pedophile, trafficker, Epstein. Hitler actually wanted to get rid of because he wanted to get rid of all human traffickers, pornography, and the rest of the degeneracy. Muslim countries that made it legal to marry 9-year-olds. Well, I hate to say this, there's Christians that in the U.S. that. So it's and they grape a woman and then execute them for being raped. Oh, and those pedophile countries hailed Hitler. No, they took in the Jews. And they took in the Jews many times in history when others were telling them to leave. But everyone knows you are just a racist ass cunt, so anything you say can and just be ignored. Oh, and I'm not Jewish. I'm part German and Polish, but I guess everyone you hate is a Jew, so you can justify your hate and racism, right? You're an idiot.
Dude, that's if I were to be a racist, anyone who's a racist would just be like, bro, you admitted to being Polish? What's wrong with you?
No, and I have to bring Christians into a lot of this stuff because you're accusing others of things, and in the U.S., people are guilty of a lot of the things, and all you got to do is look at the Epstein files, and there's just a lot of business leaders and Hollywood people. A lot of white-skinned people. Israeli arrested abroad cruise ship in Florida over child sex abuse material. Okay, and this. And there's a lot of articles in there. And most of these guys get away with it. Okay. It just says, okay, Jay. Hi, Jay. Hi, Jay. Then who are you calling a Jay? Do you think it's an insult? I'm not even Jay in the first place. But they aren't bad people, so who gives a shit if I'm called? And Brad says, who are you calling a Jay? Do you think it's an insult? I'm not even a Jay in the first place, but they aren't bad people, so who gives a shit if you called me that? You, however, are a Nazi. And the person responds, being called a Nazi is a badge of honor now. People who are anti-war and anti-Israel tend to be called Nazis and anti-Semites. No one cares about being called either of those things anymore. Israelis are horrible people who want to kill everyone. Oops.
Yeah, that's his profile.
Oh, two friends.
Yeah.
Athens, Georgia, and then it has Titusville High School. So that Titusville in Florida, that's a right-wing Christian area.
Yeah.
Titusville High School. So you're kind of telling who you are. You're the Christian Zionist. Levi James Cohen says, the harsh reality, harsh. They never intended to coexist. Greater Israel map. Israeli soldiers uniform, patch raises alarm. You are correct, sir. Okay, you are correct, sir. 6 two-state solutions office say otherwise, but keep pretending Palestinians aren't genocidal. You know, yeah, that more fake news from the people who make fake news the most.
Yep.
We all know Israel violates any sort of agreement, and we all know if Palestine accepted any of these. Yeah, and what's the ceasefire that's supposed to be in Gaza right now?
Yep.
Because, every day people are being slaughtered. They can't, get medical treatment. I mean, it's just very low, the numbers of people that can get out to get medical treatment. It's just really, isn't allowing a lot of supplies to enter. It's just horrific. You have food, water. I mean, they're destroying everything. They're intentionally, working on killing people. Okay, it's crazy how open the Israelis are about their true goals. Yet people like Brad Cherry and Stephen Redpath don't seem to understand this simple concept. And Brad Cherry says to Harsh, then what genocide? You want to talk shit about how people don't understand something? So what genocide? Oh, this stupid thing. The population of Gaza hasn't changed. 2.1 million people before the war. That Hamas did not start it, but that's what he claims. And it's 2.1 million people in Gaza now.
I mean, I was gonna say, if you replace certain terms in that sentence, if you were to replace the number 2.1 with 15 million, and 1936 Jewish people, and then 1933 Jewish people, then 1948 Jewish people, 15 something million. Wouldn't he sound like a Holocaust denier?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like you sound like, seriously, he would sound like a Holocaust denier.
Yeah.
He would be arrested for that.
Yes.
Like in 18 countries in the world, he'd be arrested for saying something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wait a second, are you denying the Holocaust?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy when they say that stuff.
Yeah, I just can't stand when they come out with the ridiculousness. And it says here, you said, I will ignore your lack of logic in that comment to ask you one simple question. Are these Jew haters? Are these guys anti-Semites? I mean, they're Jewish and they disagree with you. And this is Jewish Voice. It says, Netanyahu is the Hitler of our time. The genocide Netanyahu must be tried and given the harshest punishment. Israel is the Nazi state of our time. and this fake state is genocidal. It must be dismantled as soon as possible. And then Brad says, well, you just proved it. You are a J-hating idiot. Also, Israel isn't apartheid. There are Muslims that live there and are in government. They haven't committed genocide. It doesn't matter how many you F-nuggets say genocide, it's fake. And then you said, for your information, if you keep calling J-haters because you're too ignorant for your own good, then all you're doing is promoting the hatred. And then you said, so you know more than these people, right? And then it had PBS NewsHour, world-leading genocide scholars, organizations say Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. Leading genocide scholars organization says Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. And Harsh, you say to Brad, so are these 500 plus scholars J-hating idiots?
Yeah.
And then, The Hague, Netherlands, the largest professional organization of scholars studying genocide, said Monday that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. The determination by the International Association of Genocide Scholars, which has around 500 members. So you are at these 500 plus, okay. Yeah, it has 500 members worldwide, including a number of Holocaust experts, could serve to further isolate Israel in global public opinion and add to a growing chorus of organizations that have used the term for Israel's actions in Gaza. Israel rejects the accusations and called the resolution an embarrassment to the legal profession. Israel's policies and actions in Gaza meet the legal definition of genocide, according to group's resolution, which was okay. Wait, maybe it's over here. Oh no. Okay. Harsh, you say maybe if the Nakba didn't happen, then this wouldn't be a thought right now. That being said, stuff like this is happening in Israel, then it's really hard for people to have any sort of sympathy when they're dealing with their own threats. After all, turnout is fair play opinion. That alarming poll showing 82% of Israelis back Gaza expulsion.
Correct. And now he played victim the rest of the time. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
The Nakba, you mean the time the Arabs used to refer to the humiliation when they failed their first genocidal war? It's like, that's not what happened. They're so dumb.
I know.
And then I said, literally, no one cares about it. The oy vey, the Muslims are evil, we're the good guys, cries anymore. It's hard to care about it, but it's like, how many times are you going to keep playing victim?
Right. Here, why don't you read this?
You know, Israel causes most of the problems for the West. And when a carbon only went most of the basic cry about anti-Semitism and Jewish hatred. He says, thanks for admiring your depth to the cause of genocide and hatred over the Palestinians and the PLO. It's like, you mean the people hired by the Israelis?
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Right. Let me read some of Evelina's comments.
Okay.
She says that something wrong. Something white says, "Oh my God, responsibility is hard. So please tell me what to do." I'm like, "That's true." And Evelina started laughing based on the comments, and then she says, "Harsh, they are brainwashed. You know that. We gotta stop saying they're brainwashed. We have the internet. People are brainwashed if they allow themselves to be brainwashed." And Evelina says the brainier ones are interested in brainwashing us. I agree they're brainwashed to a point, but at the same time, being brainwashed is a choice.
But, you know, we have the same thing in the U.S. You have
No.
the Ku Klux Klan Christians, and somehow saying that the KKK is a good Christian group, and that is mind-boggling.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's not good, but I mean,
It's just a crazy thought, and and you'd have to argue with these people.
here's the thing though. None of these groups actually care about white people, so it doesn't really. Like, if you're a Christian and a Caucasian, even the KKK doesn't look out for you anymore. You're kind of on your own. I mean, white nationalism become such a joke that half the people who are in charge, who are like the personalities of white nationalism, are freaking Mexican. What the hell? They're like Mexican or born in Mexico. Handsome Truth Guga, Handsome Truth Giga, John Mineo, he's Mexican, even though he claims to be 90% white. Nick Fuentes is half Mexican, is Mexican, Irish, and Italian. None of those three would be allowed in the KKK. And then freaking Paul Miller, the Gypsy Crusader, he's half he's half Romanian and half I want to say he's just a full-blooded Romanian. He's also like part Mexican. He's like Mexican. So none of these people are even white. And yet they want to fight for white rights. It's very weird.
It is.
And then the few people who actually are like white and like fighting for their rights, like Arval, they're barely even able to get an all-white community together because nobody wants to deal with their nonsense. So I don't know. It's different. But let me read some of Evelina's comments when she says they're not brainless altogether. It's a facade. She says, replying to your rant on Christians, I don't know if they're brainier. I don't know if it's a facade. These people are retarded. You only fake being retarded for so long. At some point, you are who you are.
You know, people. It's.
I mean, Evelina says they're not suicidal. It's all talk. I believe they're fearful of dying. They may be fearful of dying, but their beliefs and behaviors tell me something else. I mean, if I'm afraid of being, if I'm afraid of being caught on fire, the last thing I'm going to do is pour oil on my arms and legs.
Right.
I'm just saying, these people are morons. These are the types of people say, "Oh, I'm afraid of pain and suffering, and I'm afraid of dying," and then play Russian roulette for the next hour. You know, at some point, you don't always win at Russian roulette.
No.
At some point, the bullet does. You're not going to always you're not going to always hear an empty click.
No.
That's all I'm going to say because I'm doing. Kathleen says 264 days. Hey, great shaking tent revival. 14 East Omaha, Arkansas. Owls hooting in a forest creekside, really hooting up a storm. So, I mean, they may not be suicidal, but they certainly are not choosing life.
No. And it's just like, I know I keep bringing up Fox, and there's Newsmax, Fox. They listen to the same people over and over and over again. And they keep presenting Israel as, protecting itself. They have to protect themselves, and the U.S. has to be there for Israel to protect them. So they always, present it in a different way, and people don't look to see the full picture. Okay, so you want to do more of your...
Yeah, I mean, if you're bored, we could do more. If not, then, we can stop the nonsense. But yeah, when I typed in his name, it was pretty easy to find.
Uh-huh.
When you pull your head out of your and come back and talk with us, like, yeah. Yeah, my head's up. I'm the ignorant one. That's why you're the one spewing propaganda.
Right.
These people are dumb. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why people talk like this when they're easy to find. Like,
Yeah.
you say, if he says this stuff to the wrong person, risking your life for the sake of seeking sympathy doesn't really pay the bills.
And you don't know, some of these people are being paid.
Yeah, they might be.
Israel pays a bunch of propagandists. And there you were again showing.
Yep. I mean, like I said, I typed his name and I found a bunch of things linking him to Minnesota. So, I mean, if he's being paid, he's really not smart.
Yeah, okay, so it's pretty much the same. I think this is the same stuff. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about this stuff.
Well, I mean, but these people are morons.
They are, because I get some of them too. And, like for Facebook, I just block these people because
Yeah.
they don't have any friends. They just come on here just to...
If these people were smart, they wouldn't post anything under their real name.
No.
They
But...
really wouldn't. They would just be quiet and just move on.
Oh, good night, Kathleen. She says good night. Good night, Owl. Yeah, well, when Israel had it in their budget for the Hasbro team, so they have a bunch of people, a lot of fake accounts, paying people, to present the Israeli viewpoint on social media.
I don't think Brad, Sherry, or Elliot are paid. Because I think Brad is just a regular, like, hillbilly.
Right.
And Elliot is a regular, like, Hebrew.
Okay. Yeah, truth. And I do get people that, they from New
That
York
is
City.
really dumb. I mean, look at Janet Friedlander.
Oh, please.
I mean, I don't know if she's being paid either, but I called her a bore once. And she got like, oh, I'm not a bore. And then she had like a photo where she posted her address. It's like where she posted like their family photo outside of their house where their address was there. I'm like, I don't know if that's a really good idea.
No. Yeah, because there are some people, that aren't being paid, but there's a lot of them being paid, and they feel that they're doing the positive thing. They think that they're educating people, and it's not. It's like the same script over and over again, the same things, and they don't go out of that script. So
Yeah, it's not even like entertaining anymore or informative. Like, what other opinion is there to have on that topic? And I'm all for free thoughts and discussion, but when one side is like being factual and accurate, and the other side is blah 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 blah, it's like, I don't know. Like, if you're gonna lie and spew nonsense, at least be remotely interesting.
But no, it's the same pathetic stuff, and it's like, here we go again.
Yeah. I mean, it's at the point, if you're going to support Israel, if you're going to support Zionism, and you're going to put all your personal information on there, then yeah, you probably deserve to have whatever happens to you. Anything bad that happens to you, you kind of deserve it at that point. Like,
No, it is ridiculous to put your address and put everything out there.
yeah, and then be like, oh my God, this is the anti-Semitism.
Somebody has, I don't want people to harm other people.
Right.
But if you're going to get into a conversation with somebody and you don't want to hear a different viewpoint, and then you start labeling somebody an anti-Semite because their viewpoint is different. No, a person doesn't say they hate all the Semitic languages and all the people of the Semitic languages, and you bring it up in their faces that yes, Palestinians are Semites.
Right. Yeah, but he keeps saying people are anti-Semites and J haters and all that just because you're ignorant on a topic. That causes more hatred to the people who are Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And
you don't get to say stop Jewish hate and then perpetuate the causes for Jewish hatred.
right, because this friend of mine on Facebook, he's Jewish and he's anti-Zionist. He's out there protesting all the time for Palestine.
Right.
And he says, when they talk about Zionists and acting as Nazis and they don't like being called Nazis, then he says, well, change your behavior. Change the behavior. This is what people are seeing. They're seeing you acting like Nazis. You look at it, right? Supremacism, invading other lands, wanting to take over. Isn't that Nazi? But and that's what I
they
like.
are the Nazis. I mean, the Israelis are the Nazis.
Yeah, and there are so many Jews here in the USA that are out there protesting. They're out, but you know something? The media doesn't like talking about them. They're out there protesting.
Who controls the
They're in
media?
Washington. What's that?
Well, I mean, who controls the media?
Yeah, the Zionist thought process, the right-wing Zionist thought process. And, there was the Zionist of, what was it, the vote, the Zionist Congress, whatever, the World Zionist Congress, when they had that vote, what was it, last year or so. And then there's so many different groups within there. And the ZOA, Zionist of America. And then I looked at one of their meetings, and who was there? It was all these Fox News people. So it was all, you Republican, Jewish, and they're the ones that have the biggest voices in the USA. They're the ones when it came to the, with the different, where FEMA funds are concerned and getting government funds are concerned, you have to say you're not going to BDS. And, BDS Israel. And also with the new definition of what is it? I forget what it's called. But, it's changing different things. So all these things that we're seeing in at the different colleges and all the things that are being put out on the news and what they want to do in the U.S., this is the right wing. Because then you go down the list and, you have these different groups. And then you have Reform that talks about, they don't have the things that this other right wing has. And they talk about, trying to have equality, and they talk about a two-state. And then you have the progressive Jewish saying that a one state, completely equal, everybody's equal, and equal rights for everybody. And so, but you see the quieter voices, go from the Reform to progressive. The loudest voices are the Republican voices. So, but it was interesting to see where, with having the also the this getting into social media, it's going after people and all nonsense like that was with the Republican, So, I'm like, oh, this is your Fox News people. They have the Christian Zionist, the Christian right-wingers, evangelicals. They got the right-wing extremist Jewish. That's all your Fox News people. So what do you got to say, Harsh?
About what?
I think you're getting tired.
About what? Say about what? The idiots?
They're idiots, yeah, and it's the
Uh,
same thing.
about the retards? I mean, what else is there to? I got nothing to say.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw it. I don't. Well, I mean, it got so bad that like we pretty much like had like white nat. We pretty much started like having people troll them with the Hitler worship. That's how bad it was. Going
Mm-hmm.
back, I mean, people like that. We didn't have it specifically, but that happened on the page, and you're just like, these people are nuts.
Mm-hmm. And you hate to have to bring all that into everything, but when you're talking about supremacy
Yeah.
and going into other countries, I mean, what is that? What is that? You know?
I mean, not only that, I mean, Hitler never had a private island. Hitler and the Nazis never had a private island to traffic children either. So,
No.
I mean, I hate saying stuff like this because Hitler was a horrible person, but
Right.
the thing is, everyone could say Hitler was a horrible person. The Nazis were bad. But you say it about Israel, it's controversial. I don't know
Right.
why. I don't know how.
I don't know either. And
Well,
I
it
do.
shouldn't be controversial. And that's why it's annoying. We can talk about the KKK being bad all day. Nobody cares. We can talk about these Islamic terrorist groups being bad every day. Nobody cares. But
Yes, there's one group you're not allowed to talk about. People will be all over you.
I mean, you saw the post.
Yeah,
I was called a Jew hater for saying what Israel's doing is wrong.
that's ridiculous. And there are plenty of Jews that agree with you.
Yeah. I told him that's the type of stuff that's actually going to cause hatred toward Jewish people
Mm-hmm.
because you're just whitewashing everything. So I don't know.
And that's where plenty of Jews are telling them the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for being here tonight, Harsh. This was a very interesting conversation.
Yeah, it's a fun conversation to have.
Yes, gotta get your frustration, get everything out there, vent it all.
Yeah, like a Sunday night shot and fraud. It was perfect.
Yes.
And you got your few articles in there,
Yeah, just to talk
which
about
some of
things.
them were somehow even less informative than the shot and fraud. Well, the Ro Khanna one.
Uh,
We need to rein in Trump's unilateral power. What? Like 20 years later?
and what about with Gaza? What about with Gaza? Where were all your voices with Gaza during the Biden administration and ever since Trump came
And,
into
Ob-
office?
and Obama
Yeah.
and Bush and Clinton.
Yeah, where was everybody?
Even if you separate the Gaza situation, you president of the Congress has allowed the president to have unilateral powers when it comes to committing war crimes for decades. I mean, the time to rein in the president's powers isn't now. It was 30 years ago
Mm-hmm.
under the Clinton administration. Hey, the president does not have unilateral power to do these things, to commit acts of war. That's what should have happened.
Right.
That's when Congress should have intervened. Not now.
They were just
What the
looking
hell's the point now?
right just before election time. And now too, and I was going to say, yeah, because they were looking at the stock market. Oh, look at all the military the military industrial complex. Look at all the weapons being sold. Get stocks in this, get stocks in that. And not even valuing human life. You're looking to profit off of people being murdered. And then the groups that are saying they're pro-life. How are you pro-life?
They're not pro-life.
No, you're slaughtering people,
Yeah.
slaughtering babies, and we saw the pregnant mothers being killed in Gaza. Where was the pro-life people with that? They were nowhere to be seen.
Correct. Yeah,
You know, it's infuriating. It really is. It's just very upsetting with all this.
it really is.
And it just gets your mind that how do these people do it? Look to, and cheering on their portfolios with the money they've made off of the different wars and the slaughtering of all these people and the starvation of all these people, and they're profiting off of it, and they're like, yay, yay, yay. Okay, so I might as well start saying goodnight.
Yeah, I think that's the time for that.
Yes, I was very happy to see Kathleen here.
Yeah, Kathleen's awesome.
She is. It's good to see Kathleen and Evelina.
Yeah.
It's always good to see Evelina doing something right. Yes, thank you all for being here. I appreciate that. I just love seeing the gang in the comments. And also, thank you for people watching that haven't commented. We appreciate you watching us and listening. And as we always say, we're all in this together. Let's just continue sharing that information. And you saw what Harsh was in conversations with people, trying to educate people, even though maybe you don't get any, but at least you're putting the information out.
Yeah, no, I was trying my best, but I see conversations like that. I'm like, oh, so that's how World War II happened.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Okay, Evelina says, good night, guys. Yes, good night, Evelina. And yeah, thank you so much, Harsh, for being here. I enjoyed our conversation. I always enjoy our conversations. And I was going to say, yeah, everybody, please hit the like button. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I got a new YouTube channel. And follow me on X. I'd appreciate that. And also on Upscrolled. And I'll be back. I most likely will be back Wednesday evening with Denarde. Denarde usually has the information, especially with elections. And with the backstories of things and what could come if certain people are elected. He really tallies a lot of information, Denarde. So, yeah, join us on Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, I was going to say, just keep sharing information and trying to educate people. It's so, so important. Good night, everybody. Free Palestine. Peace in the world. And what do you got to say, Harsh?
Well, thank you for having me on. I'm glad we were able to do the show. And yeah, free Palestine, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Free Palestine and free Western society from the control of Israel.
Mm-hmm. And I've had people saying that to me. In my comments in different social media posts are saying that they're praying for America, to free America,
Yeah. I mean, like I said before, when they say what's happening in Palestine can happen in America, it's starting to be the case. I mean, look at Western society. It's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a mess because the same people who are causing the genocide in Gaza are the same people who basically castrated and emasculated, Christians and Caucasians.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't even know how Westerners could even have a society anymore.
I don't know.
How? Like you basically, I mean, the way they treat, the way they treat the tiny hat people, it's crazy. I mean, they have more like love and respect for them than they do their own gods. So, I don't know.
Everything, like we say, is programmed. They watch different shows that are telling them to think a certain way. And then they go to certain churches.
Correct.
Some evangelical churches tell them things.
Correct.
There's the brainwashing.
Yes, it is.
Okay. And it's kind of like, forget about Jesus. This is what we want you to think and what we want you to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
And peace out.